Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I have a special guest with me, Voltage Sauce, who is the founder and the driving force behind the Voltage Sauce Beginner Discord. It's a community that if you're a newer player or even a mid-game player, I really suggest that you check it out. I'm going to have a link in the description to that Discord for you. And what that community does, that I've been there a long time, trying to help new players. I find it helps give me a fresh perspective on the game. And I learn a lot from them because you use the new characters to solve new problems or old problems, I should say. Is what Voltage Sauce is going to help us talk about today is what the impact of Kestrel has been for new players and for mid-game players. And what we're seeing now is the whales who are the new players, the whale mid-game players have been unlocking Kestrel, doing stuff with Kestrel, and everybody's going to be getting Kestrel for free starting this week in the event campaign. So this is going to potentially transform the new player experience. So Voltage Sauce, thanks for joining us. I'm curious, do you think that Kestrel is going to have a big impact on the new player experience in the short term?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here with you, and this type of character is just super exciting to people that care about the beginner experience. I think she's pretty much gonna have an effect on almost every game mode, and it's probably gonna be something where it's like, how big is your Kestrel? Because she's insane. So.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's very rare that a new player can get their hands on a top three character right away and get them essentially for free. I mean, if they, you know, even if they don't core any of the event energy, they're going to unlock her. And if they do some of those 50 core refreshes on the event energy, they might get a 3 or 4 star Kestrel, which is amazing starter character to have. It's not like you and I maybe starting with a character like Groot or Rocket or something. You can blow through a lot of content with this character. It reminds me a little bit when I was helping some new players when the Symbiote Spider-Man milestones were introduced, and man, that was such a key character that would carry them through a lot of content. So for Kestrel, have you already seen players using Kestrel in new player arena?
Oh yeah, we're finding a ton of Kestrel has shown up in, say, like the top 10 of arena shards. I was talking to some of the alliances that we have that are associated with our Discord that are maybe 2, 3, 4 months into the game, and they're saying the smallest number I've heard so far is 7 out of 10 in the top 10 had Kestrel. So they're popping up all over the place and definitely just blowing away some of the competition of other characters you could have early on for arena. So.
Yeah, here's an example you sent me of a new player arena shard. You can see, of course, the Dad Bros, who we've talked about a lot. They are great even at low stars for new players. Zemo, Surfer, but then, of course, there you got Kestrel. Now, I do think she's better on arena offense than arena defense. Have you heard any feedback on that or have any thoughts on that, Voltage Sauce?
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. There's a few reasons I think she gets hurt a little bit on defense. The first one is that the characters that she pairs well with are characters that apply defense down, and the AI for whatever reason chooses not to use those abilities on their first turn. So a lot of people that also would have Kestrel at this point have the Dad Bros, and so that they would normally apply defense down if they're controlled by a player, but the AI does not do that. Another place that people are using her is with like Symbiote Spider-Man, and he will use his special instead of his basic, which would apply defense down. So that hurts her value a little bit. It takes her a little bit longer to kind of get up and running with all the pings from her passive. So that's definitely a downside to her. And then the other piece that I've kind of heard is that she could be a little bit slow compared to kind of the speed meta we're in with the Zemos and the Emmas and things like that. So I've heard people are still able to kind of punch up on her if they have the right team, and Surfer as well as showing up in a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So those like the only negatives I've really heard about her, and but she's still popping up in the top 10, still a very dominant character, still at low stars, and people are still getting her geared up, so I kind of expect to see her more and more.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're going to see new players leaning on this character quite a bit. Obviously, as you point out, new players can get their hands on Zemo through the raid store, and they get the Dad Bros. A lot of them have, purchased those packs or whatever, and obviously they can outrace anybody. But Kestrel is so important. Now, I don't think her impact will be as great in campaigns. Are there any? Obviously, she can help you in the hero campaign or the cosmic campaign. Have you heard any particular campaigns that she's been particularly helpful in?
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, she's not nearly as helpful as some of the other characters. Like even Surfer makes a huge difference in some of the campaigns. But the main one that I'm seeing already, people are saying that she kind of carries and is helping them not have to build some kind of outdated characters. Is the last three nodes of the Doom campaign. It's chapter three, nodes 7 through 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's tech heroes and supernatural heroes, I believe. Has a lot of characters that if you were to look at your tier list, for example, they would be towards the bottom, supernatural and power armor and things like that. So um, it's already nice, and that gets you Taskmaster and some gear level 14 uniques and things like that. So it's definitely a helpful character for that. But overall, um, she's definitely going to help in some of those basic campaigns, but not a ton of use, I don't think, for do more.
Yeah, what I usually have told new players is just build power armor plus Shuri and you drop Iron Man, and that'll get you through these at a reasonable power level. Because essentially you can keep an enemy alive, and kind of you use basics to reset all your cooldowns between each wave. But man, if you could just, instead of doing something like that, if you could have Kestrel, the amount of damage output is insane. So I could imagine that having a real big input here, and obviously that means instead of gearing up a character like Ironheart, you're going to be gearing up Kestrel, who's going to be so important. Now I also think one challenge I think she can be very helpful with is this one catalyst of change. This is a blaster challenge, and if you look here, we've had some powerful characters introduced recently, like Longshot, Silver Surfer. Bishop is not quite as good solo, but Kestrel, of course, is going to have an impact on that one. That one in the past used to be more difficult to run.
Yeah,
Now,
no, I think any help like that where you can just build up a really good character, but also make progress in challenges, that's a big deal. Just getting you don't really want to build for the challenges for the most part, but if you can be building for other things and happen to get further into it, I mean, that's awesome. So
yeah, so I think her biggest impact is in raids, and I had a recent video showing how she enables you to one shot the skill boss in Doom Raid. She's also amazing in the tech nodes. Now she's part of the best team for the tech nodes. Just essentially that ping that she has when you have characters with offense down pairs very well with characters who have summons. I'm curious, uh, you know, what have you seen from new players? Are they using her, for example, let's say in one of the Ultimus raids?
yeah, we're seeing her in all sorts of different difficulties, and again, these are mostly going to be people that have are spenders and things like that, so they're going to have access to some other characters like X Factor and things like that. But there's pretty much everything about her kit works really well for raids. One, she synergizes really well with other raid characters, so she works really well with X Factor. She works really well with symbiotes. Both of them apply defense down. They take lots of turns. Um, she has a lot of self sustain, so she doesn't really need a ton of support. So she's been, pretty crazy. I've heard she is dealing more damage than Black Bolt in Ultimus raids just because of all of her pings, and Black Bolt doesn't really take turns and things like that. I've heard people are dropping Surfer in raids for a similar reason. He just kind of sits there while the symbiotes are all taking turns, whereas Kestrel will also be doing damage and helping the symbiotes take more turns. So
Wow.
definitely seeing a lot of use out of her there.
Yeah, I do think that she is better in raids than Surfer by a good margin, and it's all about that out of turn damage. Very important and powerful mechanic. I imagine like you said, you could drop Venom. I would assume is who they're dropping for Kestrel, and then for
That's what I've heard most commonly with the full symbiote team is just to drop Venom, and obviously they lose a little bit of the the defense up and stuff from Venom, but overall just continue, just kill the enemies before they even get to take the turns is basically what I've been hearing. So
Makes a lot of sense. And of course, with X Factor, you don't have a fifth member at this point, so that helps there. And then, I think another obvious place where we're going to start seeing Kestrel's in Dark Dimension. I am going to have a DD4 test of her in the near future. But are you hearing about players gearing her up for Dark Dimension 2 and 3?
yeah, so pretty much right off the bat, when beginners are smart too, and they have experience with other games, and they're watching other people. As soon as they see a character this good, they know that that's a game changer. So I'm already seeing lots of people planning on taking her like all the way through all the dark dimensions, and we've already been hearing really good things about Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 4 from people that are doing like their timed run and were able to, already had the gear, and so they just took her right up. And um, what we're hearing is that her pings are just crazy. And so normally in these dark dimensions where they just have inflated health and things like that, damage isn't always that important. But what we're hearing is just there's so much damage from her pings over and over again that it's really adding up, and she's offering a ton with that. So
Yeah, exactly. What I had heard from folks on my stream is amazing damage in Dark Dimension 3, and then somebody did bring her to Dark Dimension 4 and did really well in the Cosmic Nodes. Hello with her is great, obviously spreading that defense down. If with Surfer can be very obviously an amazing combo. So I'll be testing that, but I definitely could see her as a character that's going to help. Once again, make it so that characters will, or players will not have to gear some of the older characters through Dark Dimension 2 and 3. A lot of us were relying on, let's say, Minerva. Maybe people will instead be gearing Kestrel. So I definitely see this as a character that's going to transform the game. But here's the thing, Voltage Sauce. It's really a limited time thing for new players. This is an opportunity that newer players can seize on, mid game players right now can seize on. But once this campaign is over, she may be hard to get. This could be another Symbiote Spider-Man or Emma, where if you started at the right time, you get multiple stars in those characters for free. But then newer players are going to have to pay money to catch up.
yeah, pretty much. It's definitely an unfortunate side effect of using new characters as a catch up mechanic because only only so many people can use this to catch up. So it's going to be super beneficial to the people that are able to get through this campaign, and especially if they're able to get her to decent star level and stuff. But then, yeah, I think there is a big question after. It's like all the new players that start after this campaign, they don't have Kestrel, they don't have Surfer, they don't have MS and be a Spider-Man. It's they either have to keep releasing these new characters that are accessible to new players, or make them more available to new players somehow. So
Yeah, exactly right. This is the event campaign, by the way, that we're talking about. This is going to be an opportunity for everyone to get Kestrel for free. This is, in my opinion, the most free-to-play way that they introduce new characters. There's special energy associated with these events. What you want to do is you don't want to refresh the nodes. You want to refresh the event energy. For cores, they have 4 refreshes that are 3 or 4, I think, per day that are 50 cores each, and then there are some 100 core refreshes. So whatever you can do with your core budget, but basically you'll go through all the hard nodes. Then if you have any left over, you'll go to medium. And a player who is doing all the 50 core refreshes can expect to end up with a 4-star Kestrel for free. If you're doing the 50 core refreshes and then 2 of the 100s, you can expect to get more likely than not a 5 or a 4, but more likely a 5-star Kestrel, which is amazing. I think the interesting thing from my perspective is what will new players be relying on in order to get through this campaign. These are the characters here. I've got to think that unless they've already wailed out to get Kestrel, they're going to rely a lot on Silver Surfer.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Surfer is definitely going to be the character that I would try to invest as much gear as possible to try and get Surfer to carry. But the one thing I did want to note, as long as you get Kestrel, you can use her in this event. So if you just unlock her, she's a 2-star unlock. Then you can use her to progress further into the campaign, and hopefully get through the hard if you didn't already get through the hard. So I mean, I assume most people will be able to use her to kind of progress further. So
Yeah,
it's kind of a
basically you get
cool
through the
cool thing to think
medium.
about.
Let's say your Silver Surfer helps you get through medium, and you unlock Kestrel halfway through the event because it's I think it's like 14, 15 days something. It's a significantly long event. You can use Surfer to unlock, let's say, medium, and then if you get Kestrel in the middle of the event, like you said, gear her up, and your Kestrel then can help you. And she really synergizes well with characters like Nick Fury, who summon, multiple man summons, who you got for free in the event campaign last time. So there are possibilities here where she can help you get even further.
Yeah, and then the other kind of reminder I wanted to tell people, or maybe if it's a brand new player who's never done one of these before, um, I believe you don't necessarily need to have 5 characters. So if you have like one weaker character that you don't really want to gear up, you can try doing it with 4 and see if you can get through it or 3-star it. So if you have some good characters, you might not need to bring like a weak fifth person. So
Yeah, interesting point. For example, your solo Silver Surfer might be able to do okay and easy in some of the medium nodes.
yeah, that's like exactly what I have in mind is like Surfer and Kestrel together.
Yeah, that might get it done, or surf for Kestrel and multiple man, or something like that, right? Where you just have the
Right.
dupes, getting those pings out. So definitely some possibilities here for new players. This is going to transform the new player experience for the short term. We're going to see massive impact to the game from Kestrel. So, look, what I'll suggest here is not only should you be going all in to get as many Kestrel shards as possible, but if you are a newer mid game player, check out that link below. We've got the Voltage Sauce Discord. And please smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. I also have a link to my own Discord below. We have lots of great conversations there. And I also have a link to my Twitch stream where we have conversations like this. Voltage Sauce is on usually once a week answering questions from new players. So lots of great content for players of all shapes and sizes.